Hi, this is Jeff Shore, author of Be Bold and Win the Sale, and welcome to a brand new series that we're doing called Closing with Your Conscience, 5 Rules of Virtuous Persuasion. You know, closing has really kind of a bad name when you just talk to people on the street and ask them what closing means. And so often we think about assertiveness and aggressiveness and manipulation and trying to get somebody to do something that's really not in their best interest. And I don't see it that way at all. I think closing is a part of the service, of the valuable service that we provide for our customers, as long as we've got those 5 rules right. So let's just dive right in and talk about the 5 rules for virtuous persuasion. And rule number 1 is the for and not to rule. That is to say that closing is something that I do for my customer and not to my customer. Now, perhaps you've heard that before, and I don't claim to have written that little piece, that closing is something we do for our customer and not to our customer. But I would ask you the question, do you really believe it? Do you really believe it? In your moral center, do you believe that closing is something that we do for our customers and not to our customers? Because your intent will make all the difference right here. I once had a manager who said, I want my salespeople to go out and over leverage and buy Mercedes. Hungry salespeople are good salespeople. At the time, I nodded my head and said, all right, if you say so. Looking back at it now, no, I don't think so. Because the problem is the salesperson is hungry for the wrong reasons. They're hungry to support their lifestyle. They're hungry to make their car payment. How is that possibly in the best interest of a customer? And I want to look at it and say that closing is something we do for our customer and not to our customer, from the perspective that I am service-oriented in the way that I go about closing. My heart is for them, and my motivation is for them. I want to help them to do what is in their best interest. So here's the bottom line. When your heart's in the right place and the voice in your head says it's time to close, it's time to close. It is. But do it for them and not to them. Your attitude in this one regard will take you through all of the rest of the closing process. And we'll talk about why that for and not to concept is so critical over each of the next 4 steps. But just keep that in mind. Just build that into your brain right now, that closing is something that I do for my customer and not to my customer. Get that right, and you'll change their world.